What's going on, guys? So this is going to be more of a personal behind the scenes kind of video. So if that's not your cup of tea, then this video will probably not be for you. But if you're curious about learning a little bit about my history, or if you're thinking about doing YouTube yourself and you're kind of wondering about the pros and cons of it all, well, maybe this video might be helpful. I'm not sure. See, about 2 years ago, around this time, I decided to take a leap and I quit my full-time job that I had been working for about 7 years at that point in an attempt to pursue YouTube as a full-time career or job, or however you want to look at it. But I had been doing YouTube for many, many, many years before then. I've told this story a couple of times, but I've had various YouTube channels throughout pretty much all of YouTube's existence ever since I was really young. When I was super young, I wasn't taking it that seriously. And even at that time, it wasn't really known that you could make money off of it. It was YouTube in its early stages. I was just doing little skit videos and little kind of funny things. I attempted to do a movie review channel that I got up to about 350 subscribers, but then that kind of teetered off. And I created this channel originally as a vlog channel, but still being serious with it. So that's why it's named Real Life Ryan, is because it was meant to be originally just kind of off the cuff, talking about life or whatever's going on at the moment. Eventually, I decided to just throw everything on this channel. I only wanted one YouTube channel. I didn't want to do the multiple channel thing. And then that's when I just started uploading reviews and everything on this channel. And then slowly over time, it gained a little bit more viewership. I like to show this particular image because maybe this will be inspiring to somebody out there, I don't know. But YouTube's analytics page, which I'm going to show you a little bit of the behind the scenes stuff and how YouTube lays things out in this video, you can pretty much look at graphs of any kind of statistic that you want as far as your video performance, as far as your viewership, your subscribers, demographics, anything like that is in the YouTube Studio section of your account. And here I put it into lifetime. So you can see that I created this channel around December 18th of 2014. So almost 10 years ago. I've almost had this channel for 10 years. And as you can see, through those first 5 years, did not gain a lot of subscribers. In the first year, let's try to find December 14th. In 1 year, I made 138 subscribers. That's how long it took me to get 138 subscribers. Took me an entire year. And then I did not gain my first 1,000 subscribers until October of 2019. I'm not sure the exact date if I can find it, but somewhere around here. So that's almost 5 full years of doing YouTube, trying my hardest with it, putting out videos after video after video, trying to improve, trying to do better, putting out different variety of content for 5 years before I even gained 1,000 subscribers. The reason I say that is because YouTube was something I was trying to pursue seriously since 2014. All the other channels I had before then, they were just kind of for fun. I didn't really realize you could make money on YouTube. I didn't really know, the ins and outs of it. I would just upload a silly video every once in a while. Around 2014 is when I started to take it seriously, and it was something that I wanted to do. I saw other YouTubers doing similar things that I knew, like they were talking about material that I knew the same information about. They seemed to be, just kind of doing the same things that I felt like I could do. So, originally I always thought, they can do it, so why can't I? We're pretty much the same. The only difference is the level of viewership, right? So I was like, well, if they can do it, then maybe I can do it too. And that was my thought for those original first 5 years. Is I kept watching channels, and I was just like, these people are doing the same things that I do. It's just like, well, they're making a living off of doing this. I'm just doing it in my spare time and for fun. It's like, why can't I get to that level? And so I continuously pursued and pushed and tried to get to that level. Those levels I'm definitely not at yet, but that was the motivation for me. That was the thing that kind of kept me going, is that I saw that it was possible. I saw that other people were able to achieve it. And so I never gave up. And even though maybe, you look at the first 5 years and barely gaining 1,000 subscribers within 5 years time, and you think like, well, Maybe you should have given up. Maybe you should have tried something else. But during that entire time, I was still working other jobs. I worked full time. I worked a variety of jobs, from like physical labor to retail to, almost every shit job you can imagine, during this time. And I would always be trying to pump out videos in the meantime. And I never gave up because it was just something that I really, really wanted to do. It was something that I felt like I could do. And, I don't know if this is going to be inspiring or maybe depressing to somebody out there, like 5 years of nothing. I couldn't even monetize until you hit 1,000 subscribers. You need like 1,000 subscribers and a certain amount of watch time. I couldn't even, monetize anything in that time. I remember when I got my first $100 from YouTube around that time, because they don't pay you out unless you make at least $100 throughout the month. And I was on top of the world. I will tell you that first $100 meant more to me than any YouTube payment I've gotten since, because it was just the proof, like physical proof that it's possible, right? Like I was shown that I could do this. I earned $100 making videos, and that helped me push through even more. Obviously, I will not deny that you can see how the viewership starts to go up around 2020, that the pandemic probably played an influence in that. And, that's just random happenstance that, people were indoors, they were watching videos more. So I can't really say that, oh, it was because of me. I'm sure a large part of that was because of the pandemic. So, that's kind of a random happenstance that you can't really say, well, wait for something really bad to happen and everybody's indoors. That's not advice that you can give somebody. But that's what the thing is with YouTube, is that there's no manual, there's no instructions. Everybody experiences, growth and success on YouTube in a different way. Some people can put out five videos and get 1,000 subscribers right away. Like some people are able to create a YouTube channel and make a living off of it in under a year, right? It took me a lot longer, and for some people it might take way longer than that. So there's no rhyme or reason with this thing. Sometimes the algorithm picks particular things up. Sometimes it's the right place, right time. Sometimes it's the right collab. Sometimes you just fill a void that people have been looking for some time and get really popular. There's just no telling with when or how or the reason that's going to get you to the point where you could start trying to make money on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. So it does feel very random to me. I feel like everybody has a different story. But I feel like the one thread line for everybody, whether they got success early on or very, very later on, is that they just simply did not give up. They simply didn't stop. It was something they wanted to do, and they continued to do it stubbornly until something worked out. And I feel like that's the category that I fit in. To be honest, I probably should not have quit my full-time job at the time that I did, just simply because I was a little bit overzealous, but I was also just so frustrated with working that job. I hated it so much, and I had, grueled it out for years and years and years. And at the time, I was starting to make just about the same on YouTube that I was making from my full-time job, if not a little bit more. So I just kind of got to a point where, the summer was coming up, and I had just been working this job for so long, and they were changing so many things at the job itself, and I just got so frustrated with dealing with customers and entitled people and Karens and all the horrible things that you experience in retail after years and years and years. And so I just decided I was just going to try it, and at the end of the day, I feel like just like any other job, you could get fired in an instant, or the whole channel could get deleted. Like anything bad could happen. But I felt like if I at least don't take a chance on it, if I at least don't try to do it, then, I'm going to be in just complete misery forever, and I'll never get to know whether or not it really would have worked or not. And there was just the absolute stress of doing, a full-time job on top of trying to make videos essentially full-time, essentially the same amount of time that I would be spending at the job, just nothing. Where I wasn't working, I was working on videos, and it was just nonstop, just work, videos, work, videos, work, videos. And the burnout just got up to me, and I don't know, I took a leap of faith, man. So far, so good. So far, I've been able to manage and survive for 2 years doing YouTube. It's kind of incredible to think about, but here I am. Anyways, I'm going to give you guys a list of what I think are the 5 best things and the 5 worst things about doing YouTube so far now that I've done it for 2 years. All right, I'm going to start with the worst things about doing YouTube, and then we'll get into the best things. So 5 worst things about doing YouTube. Number 5 is I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing half the time. They do not give you an instruction manual for this. Like I said, there is no particular steps or ladder of success when it comes to YouTube. Most of it's pretty random. I never know what I'm doing. I'm just trying my best. Like, I am not confident in this whatsoever. I am literally just a person that likes talking about things that he enjoys and putting his opinions on the internet, I guess, dissecting stories, doing analysis videos, doing reviews, the retrospectives. Those are just things that I like doing in general. Those are things that I would be doing regardless. I like kind of figuring out different timelines of stories and how it can all work or not work together. I don't know, maybe it's like a super autistic, hyper obsessive, kind of aspect of myself. I don't know what it is. But when it comes to doing YouTube, I mean, I try to make the best decisions that I can. I try to make smart decisions. I try to manage the channel and the views and my finances to the best of my ability. But at the end of the day, I'm just one person with no mentor and no guidance and no instruction manual. And so I'm really just kind of going off the skin of my teeth. This is like complete, candid behind the scenes information for you guys. If it seems structured, if it seems like I know what I'm doing, I honestly don't. And every day I wake up, I'm just happy I still have a YouTube channel. The number 4 worst thing about doing YouTube full time is how incredibly time consuming it is. I don't think people realize sometimes, unless it's something that you do, how long it really takes to construct a video. And this is why I guess you've maybe seen less videos this year than usual, because I'm trying to do less videos of just me talking on camera and more videos that are better constructed with fully written scripts and better editing and, more kind of deeper analysis style videos. But they are incredibly time consuming. If you watch a 10-minute video, that video in itself probably took about 13 hours to make, in between gathering the information and writing the script and recording it and editing and finding the footage and trying to, structure it in a particular way that's engaging. A lot of times, I wouldn't say that I'm being fake, but you have to act a little bit when you are constructing a video, because when you read the script, you don't want it to be monotone. You want to give the right energy and the right inflection in the right moments to get the mood across, to get the point across. So you kind of have to be a little bit of an actor in a way, because you're trying to get the right inflections in the right moments. And sometimes, that's like take after take after take. The editing process can take all day, and you're just sitting in a chair staring at a screen. And I don't know about you guys, but I like to be active. I like to be outside. This is why it's very important for me to go to the gym. And sometimes it just really sucks to just sit here for hours. And even though I like what I'm doing, even though I like making the videos, what keeps me going is the thought of when the video's out. Like, I can't wait for people to see it. But in the process of making it and the time consuming nature of it, and how almost all the time consuming nature is just sitting at a desk staring at a screen, it does get grating, man. It does just get like, I just want to go do something. I just want something to break up the monotony, or go, hang out with somebody. Like, I just want to do something that's not just sitting, but it's a lot of hours of sitting. Number 3 worst thing about doing YouTube full time for me is that I constantly feel like I'm letting people down. Maybe it's just one of the drawbacks of doing a channel where you mostly review things, but I always feel like I have so many people that, want this and want that, or why haven't you reviewed this yet? Or how come you haven't talked about this? And the problem is, with the time consuming nature of videos, it just takes so long to get through everything. Like, I can't watch every show. I can't watch every movie. I can't read every manga. I can't read every book. And even when I do, like, that's also time that goes into, the time consuming nature of YouTube. It's like, you have to watch all the, all of the episodes in order to write an analysis about it. And I just constantly feel like I'm letting people down, because no matter what video I put out, inevitably there will be several comments on that video that say, why are you talking about this and not talking about this? And it goes further than just that too. It goes with, sometimes I get a lot of DMs from people, and I do try to legitimately answer them or read them or respond them. but I feel like a lot of people want to have long ongoing conversations, and I just can't do that because if I had long conversations with everybody, I wouldn't get anything done, you know? So I want to acknowledge the gratitude that I have that people care about my opinion, and I want to respond to people's DMs, and I want to be like, I want to, right? But I just literally don't have the time to have full-fledged conversations with everybody. And so sometimes I'll just like a message, or maybe I'll send something short back, but I'm not trying to be dismissive. It's literally just a matter of time. I also upset people in ways that I don't even understand. You know, I remember somebody got mad at me because I uploaded a video, and they got mad that I didn't review something that they sent in a super chat on a live stream and asked if I would review it. And they were acting as if the super chat itself was like a transaction to review something. And please don't do that. Like, don't send in a super chat with the idea that it's a transaction. Like, if you're helping to support the channel, I absolutely appreciate it, but that's not how that works. And I never try to set it up or make it seem like that's how that worked. So like, I felt bad because did you think that by doing that was like a transaction and that was something I was supposed to do? And I was like trying to explain it, and I was like, well, I can refund it. Like, how much was it? Like, I didn't even know like why they were mad. And so, yeah, like I said, sometimes it's just really hard because, you know, I'm trying to keep a balance on making videos that I know my audience wants to watch, but also I have to do what I want to do. Like, I have to do what I enjoy and what I'm passionate about. Otherwise, the videos are just going to be hollow. And so inevitably with that, you know, I'm always going to let people down or disappoint people that I'm not making the kind of videos that they want to see me make. Number two worst thing about doing YouTube full time is just feeling this sense of constant, almost never ending failure. And like I said, with the time consuming nature of making videos, you know, you can put in a lot of work, and this will tie into number one, but just very quickly, I do not get paid by the amount of hours that I put in to do something. It's not an hourly job. So, you know, a lot of times I'll spend hours and hours or days and days working on something. And then when you put the video out, almost nobody watches it. And so it really feels sometimes like all those hours are wasted because there is no ROI, you know, there is no return on investment. It goes out. And if a video does not do well within the first 48 hours for YouTube, it just tanks it. It hides it in the algorithm. Nobody can find it. I can't tell you how many times people have asked if I've reviewed something. And yeah, I have, but nobody sees it because YouTube hides it in the algorithm because it didn't do well in those first 2 or 3 days. Now, I have everything in playlists, so you can see all of my movie reviews or anime reviews or manga reviews if you go to my channel and search for it, but YouTube's not going to share it after the first 24 to 48 hours. And it just really sucks because there's so many videos I made that I think are really good or that I loved or that I wanted to talk about that I wish did better, particularly in the anime review playlist, because I'm a big fan of old school anime, like from the 80s and 90s and stuff. So there's a lot of these old movies that I like to talk about, you know, like Ghost in the Shell and Akira, Perfect Blue, Wicked City. And you can see all these videos, most of them, you know, did like 7,000 views, 6,000, 5,000, 4,000. And, you know, those are not like terrible numbers, but YouTube does a thing where it's like your RPM, which is the average amount of money that you make on a video per 1,000 views. And I average somewhere between like $3 to $4. So if you get a video that does 6,000 views, then that video probably took me like at least 12, 13 hours to make, and I've made about $12. So it basically equates to like $1 an hour, you know? So it's like, these are the videos that I always wish did better. You know, I wish the anime review videos did better. You know, sometimes they'll get a boost, like Spriggan, you know, the new anime came out, so it got a boost a little bit. It got to 30,000, which is really cool. Angel's Egg, you know, a lot of these videos are the ones that I wish did better. And YouTube has the analytics page too, which shows you basically in real time how many views that you're getting on a video. And it'll tell you where it's ranked. Like within your last 10 videos, it'll tell you how good it is. And it always sucks when you put out a video that you worked hard on and you feel passionate about and you put it out there and it does like 10 out of 10. Like it's the worst performing video of your last 10 videos. And especially if it's something that I put a lot of research into, a lot of time into, and I just feel like that has happened so many times, so many videos that I've made, hundreds at this point. I really wish just did better than they did. But YouTube is a cruel mistress, and it doesn't sugarcoat anything, and it'll just tell you this video is bad. You suck. And the number one worst thing about doing YouTube full time is never knowing how much money I'm going to make month to month. It's a bit terrifying if I'm being honest with you guys. So it's been 2 years now, and I have managed to stay afloat. I've managed to pay all my bills, which is really nice. People say you shouldn't tell people how much money you make, and that's probably true. But to be honest and to be candid with you guys, I'm still technically in like minimum wage range. Like, I don't make that much from YouTube yearly. I'm always hoping that it'll do better. The potential is endless, right? But right now, if you were to categorize me, I'm still like minimum wage for sure. Like basically making the same amount that I did when I worked retail full time. Like pretty much the same. 2 years now, it's been the same. And that's manageable enough because I've worked minimum wage jobs pretty much my entire life. I can figure it out, right? But the problem is never knowing how much money exactly I'm going to make month to month. Because if you work a regular job, you punch in, you punch out, you're paid hourly, you can pretty much figure out how much you're going to make. You pretty much get paid the same month to month because you work basically the same amount of hours. With YouTube, it's not like that. So there's this massive panic mode that sets in where if I don't make a particular amount of money a month, then that's less than the amount of bills that I have to pay. And that's happened a couple of times. Thankfully, there is some money in the bank. I have like a little bit of a cushion that if I lost YouTube entirely, I could probably survive for like 4 or 5 months. But then after that, I'd be back to being dirt broke. So it does get very stressful because you don't know how well a video is going to do. And sometimes, it'll be like the 20th, the 21st, 22nd of the month. So you only got like a week left. And I still haven't made enough to cover my normal bills. And it starts to get terrifying. So that can be very rough and very stressful and is probably the worst because it makes it hard to plan things. I can't exactly like buy a concert ticket or book a trip or something without knowing, okay, is this going to be all right? Am I going to make enough to be able to do this? I'm a pretty minimalistic person as it is, and I'm kind of used to that. So, I feel like I'm very intelligent with my money, or at least I try to be because I've been super, super broke before, but it just gets a little bit nerve-wracking because you just never know. But now that I've gotten the negatives out of the way, let's talk about the top 5 best things about doing YouTube and the things that I really, really enjoy. So my number 5 is going to be a random moment where a video does extremely well. Now, this is kind of the opposite of my number 2 of the constant video failures for the worst things, because every once in a while, a video that I don't expect to do that well, all of a sudden gets this huge boost and gets pushed. Sometimes it's not necessarily the videos that I want it to be, but a good video performance is a good video performance. It doesn't matter, what the subject matter is, but you guys know what I'm talking about. But I love that feeling of being surprised. I love when that happens because it doesn't happen all the time. And when it does, when I put out a video that I don't expect to get views and all of a sudden, like, it just shoots up. Like, I think recently I put out the review for the most recent Vinland Saga chapter. And usually the Vinland Saga videos get like 3,000 to 4,000 views. This one got 10,000. And I was just like, whoa, like, where did that come from? Where were those viewers before? This is awesome. So I love those moments. And, it does hit you with that dopamine. It does hit you with that feeling of like, this is potential. It does hit you with that feeling like, maybe you'll get a bigger audience. So it's a very exciting feeling. And it's probably one of my favorite feelings of doing YouTube. It's just the unexpected performance of a video when it does well. Number 4, best thing about YouTube is absolutely the community. I am so eternally grateful to you guys, to every single person that's ever watched a video or liked or commented or anything you've done to help support. The people that show up week to week in the live streams, the people in my Discord, people that follow me on Twitter or Instagram or wherever. Like, I'm still blown away all the time that anybody anywhere would give a single solitary shit about what I have to say about anything. And the fact that in a regular stream I can get like 50 to 70 people watching is pretty incredible. And I am just endlessly appreciative of that, man. Like, I don't take it for granted at all, ever. And I don't want you to ever think I do. I every single little bit of support I get, and I think one of the big reasons for that is because this shit was not easy, right? Like, you saw the graph, you saw how long it took before I even got 1,000 subscribers. To this day, every time somebody likes a video or comments on the video or says that they enjoyed something that I did, I just am just in awe. Like, I just don't want to, it's like, it just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like, I tried for so many years. Like, I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried. And it's not only YouTube, it's like I tried to make movies. I tried to make short films and enter them into contests here and there. And I tried to put movies on the internet, and I tried to do this and that. Like, I'm always trying to do something creative. I tried to write. I tried to do something creative, something artistic, and just nothing, for years and years and years, just nothing. And nobody gave a shit. And so every single time somebody does, I'm very, very appreciative, and it means so much to me. And it really, at times, is the only thing that keeps me going. So I just really, really appreciate it, and I thank you guys. So the community, absolutely, man. Number 3, best thing about doing YouTube is I am still hopeful that it will lead me to better things in life. I do not take this opportunity for granted either, and that's one of the reasons why I doubled down and started working so hard on YouTube, when I was doing my full-time job, is because the moment I started to see any kind of momentum, I was like, I got to barrel into this. I got to go hardcore. I got to go 100%. I got to start making videos like crazy. And that's what I did, because I feel like there's so many opportunities that have passed me by that if I see like a light at the end of the tunnel, I am sprinting towards that light. And that's kind of how I feel about YouTube, is that I'm not going to take this for granted. I'm not going to just let this pass me by. I'm really, really going to double, triple down into it. And I really do hope that it leads me to better things. I hope that if I keep doing it over time, that I will do better financially. I hope that when I get to a certain point, I can get a nicer home, or maybe get to a level. And this is the big one. This is the big one, is that my ultimate goal in life, if you guys don't know, is that I want to make movies, or at least I want to be able to say that I directed a film, like a legitimate movie, and put it out there in the world and see what happens, right? And so I'm hoping that at some point I can build YouTube up enough to where maybe after I hit like 300,000 subscribers, if that ever happens, I'll open a Kickstarter to maybe try to help crowdfund a movie, because I just don't have the resources to do it right now. One person, I would need to pay a crew and actors and special effects and get editors and stuff. And it's just like, I just can't, film is such a collaborative thing. Maybe I could just film a whole movie on my iPhone of just myself. And maybe I'll do that at some point. But as of right now, I can't really, make a movie, but I'm hoping that someday I can. And that's kind of my ultimate goal, is that I want to be able to make a movie. So I hope personally that YouTube eventually leads me to that goal. The number 2 best thing about doing YouTube is being able to be creative and talk about the things that I enjoy. I definitely don't take that for granted either. Now, obviously, everything I like is not going to be resonant with every single one of my subscribers. A lot of people are here only for the Berserk stuff. Some people are here only for the horror retrospective stuff. I like a lot of things, and if I only talked about one thing, I would go insane. So I have to keep a variety for me. But I like variety. I like talking about different things that I enjoy. I like being able to analyze different movie series and manga and novels and stuff. And now I'm reading the Dune books. Like, I enjoy being able to be creative and talk about storytelling and talk about different themes and ideas that I pick up on stories. I don't have any like training for that kind of stuff. I didn't go to school for like literacy, media literacy or anything like that. Like, I am just a fan, right? Like, I'm just a dude that enjoys this stuff, and I really am grateful for the opportunity that I get to talk about that kind of stuff. And the number 1 best thing about doing YouTube full time, by far, more than anything else, is living by my own schedule, because this was always my number one life goal, because I always hated having to live by somebody else's schedule. I hated school. I hated getting up at a certain time. I hated having to walk to a class and sit down and shut up and listen to this and do homework and yada yada. And in the adult world, no matter what job I was working, whether it was retail, whether it was in hotels, whether it was in casinos, I worked as a custodian, I worked in a warehouse, I worked in factories, I worked so many different jobs, and I hated all of them, mostly because I had no control. Right? Like, you got to be there at a certain time. You got to act a certain way. You got to be polite to people. You got to, you got to work with people that you hate. You got to deal with customers that you hate. You have to be, kind of the whipping boy of people yelling at you over the counter of things that you can't control. You were just subject to having to do whatever needed to be done that day, even if you don't feel like doing it. And it's just all of these things that I've just hated for so long, of like having to, I got to rush around really quick so I can get ready. And then I got to drive, do the commute to work, and then be around a bunch of people I hate for 9 hours, and then commute back. And, everything that has to do with working like a regular minimum wage job that I did my whole life until I was 32, I could not stand. And that was my number one motivating factor to try to find a way around that, is because I just hate being on somebody else's schedule. Now, I will say that living by my own schedule, you still have to schedule yourself. You still have to work when you don't want to. You still have to make yourself do things. I think one of the biggest misconceptions I get is sometimes, either with like my friends or maybe, somebody that doesn't really know, they think because, I do YouTube that I'm not working. Right? They think, oh, you're just free all the time. Like, hey, I need a ride here, or hey, I need to do this, or hey, it's just like, oh, you're not doing anything. You're not doing anything important, right? You're not at a job. It's like, no, I still need to schedule time to work. Like, I still, need to do that. I still, for me personally, I'm a very like list oriented person. Like, I'll write lists and I'll cross off like this is accomplished, then I got to do this, then I got to do this. And so I bought a day planner, and I schedule every single video that I'm going to work on throughout the week. Like, usually as soon as the week starts, like on Sunday, I'll go through and I'll write down like, okay, I want to write this script on this day. I want to edit this video on this day, and I'll write it down like that. But I still like the power of being able to be in control of my schedule, right? I don't take it for granted that I can go to the gym when I want to. I kind of schedule myself so that I go to the gym in the morning, then I come home, and then I work on videos until night. So, I've always wanted to just be able to be in control of my own schedule, and that is absolutely working for myself 100%. The best thing about doing YouTube is that it's on my schedule and nobody else's. So I know this video was a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. I kind of was hoping for like a 15-minute video, but here we are at a half hour. Sorry about that. But I don't know. Hopefully you guys found some enjoyment out of it. And if you are struggling right now, like, I want you to know, not that I don't still struggle, but I want you to know that you should not give up. Don't give up. No matter what happens, even if everyone calls you crazy, even if you're not seeing any success whatsoever. And I'm not just saying YouTube. I'm saying whatever artistic endeavor you're doing. If you're making music, if you're creating a comic, if you're, building crafts to sell, or making, apparel or shirts or whatever it is, whatever your creative endeavor you are doing, if you feel like you've been trying and things are not working out, don't give up. That's the number one thing. Some people give up way too soon. They don't see success right away, or they don't get reception right away. And, they try it for 6 months and they give up. Like, 6 months is nothing. It's a blip in time that means absolutely nothing. Do it for 10 years. All right. Try it for 10 years or longer than that. Keep going. Don't give up, because you never know what could happen, man. The thing I always say is that if you give up, then it's a guarantee that you won't succeed, right? But if you don't give up, there is no guarantee, but it could happen. So anyways, that's my little video, you guys. It's been 2 years full-time on YouTube. We'll see where I'm at in another year. Maybe picking up a second job. I have no idea. We'll see what happens, though. And like I said, I deeply appreciate all of the support and all of the the love that you guys have given in all of this time, man. Like I remember some of you guys have been here for this whole time. You know, some of you guys are newer, but it doesn't matter, new or old. I like doing this. I'm going to keep doing it. And even if I did fail, you know, even if I do fail, even if I do, you know, have to go back into the regular workforce, and even if I get to a point where only like 20 people are watching, I'm still going to make YouTube videos. Until my channel's deleted, I'm still going to make YouTube videos. So don't worry. I'll never stop if you care. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. And here's to another year. I say, why can't I be one of them? Not to discourage myself, but to do the complete opposite, to motivate myself, because honestly, why can't I be one of those? The roadblocks that I put out in my head to think of the reasons why I can't do that, most of it is bullshit. And most of it I know is bullshit. And I'm sure the same thing is true with you, with whatever you're trying to accomplish in life, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to succeed in. You're going to have all these roadblocks. But if you break them down to the most simplistic way that you can, you'll find that the majority of them are bullshit.